station. Time to launch a new investigation. Just a boy named Will and a dog called Belle. That's us!
Will and Belle Meet the Pirates, written and narrated by John Barker. Once upon a time, there lived a boy called Will, who lived in an old castle that stood high upon a hill. Beneath the castle was a town, beneath the town a bay, where sailing ships and fishing boats would come and go each day. Will lived there with his mum and dad, and a little dog called Belle. His dad was an inventor, and his mum was one as well. His parents started out as cooks. Their food would taste like goo. When Mum tried making toffee, she invented extra sticky glue. Will's dad loved making pasta, and spaghetti was his thing. But one day, accidentally, he invented super strong string. Will was always sticking things with glue from Mum's glue pots, and with Belle's help lassoed his toys and tied them up in knots. In his bedroom was a telescope that looked across the sea. He'd watch the fishing boats come in and tie up on the quay. In Sticky Knotty Castle lived Belle and Mum and Dad. That very happy little boy called Will was never sad. Each night, before he went to sleep, he'd climb upon a box, and with his telescope would see if ships had hit the rocks. Now, the 29th of February was the night Will's life would change. He was checking with his telescope and saw something very strange. The moon was bright, the town was still, the mist had all but cleared, and Will's eyes opened wide when a pirate ship appeared. He saw the skull and crossbones flag and anchor going down. 3 pirates and a parrot were heading into town. His mum and dad were fast asleep, Dad snoring on his back. Will grab some string and glue and Belle to fend off the attack. Down the stairs and through the doors, Will and Belle did run. He whispered, "Goodness me, I hope they haven't got a gun." They ran past Mr. Butcher's shop and raced right down the hill, past the pub where Mr. Beer said, "Where are you off to, Will?" "There's pirates in a boat," said Will. "Quick! Fetch Policeman Brown. I'm going to stop those nasty men and save our lovely town." At last they reached the little quay, and both were out of breath. They hid behind a postbox and were nearly scared to death. As the pirates rowed ashore, Parrot's squawk grew louder too. So Will thought really, really hard and thought of what to do. He slid upon his belly to the steps and from his pot, spread lots of glue on every step. He didn't miss a spot. He slithered back to be with Belle and soon could clearly see the faces of the pirates, as ugly as could be. Scars and blisters on their faces, whiskers like barbed wire, hairy warts with evil thoughts and eyes that burned like fire. Their boat stopped at the steps. Will saw their swords and knives shining in the moonlight. Will and Belle feared for their lives. "All ashore," squawked Parrot, as the pirates left the boat. "It's time to steal some treasure." Parrot pooed down Captain's coat. Dark clouds they hid the moon, and the night air seemed much colder as Captain stood on the first step. Parrot pooed upon his shoulder. When Captain reached the highest step, followed by his crew, they stopped because they all were stuck in extra sticky glue. Belle grabbed the string and ran to them. Will gave a little chuckle. As Belle, she threaded Dad's strong string through Captain's big belt buckle. The other end was in Will's hand. He stepped out in the night. The pirates cried, the parrot squawked. Will said, "Belle, hold on tight." When Will made his lasso with string, the pirates gave a roar. Captain's knees were knocking. Nervous parrot pooed some more. Will swung the lasso round his head. His aim was fair and true. He pulled it tight. He got them all, the captain and his crew. Will and Belle had saved the town from the pirates' grip. Parrot had another poo and flew back to the ship. Mr. Beer arrived just then and stood there in the road. When he saw the pirates, he said, "Blimey, well, I'm blowed. Good job I woke up Policeman Brown. He thought I was bananas." Then Policeman Brown himself arrived in helmet and pyjamas. He saw the pirates tied and stuck. He yawned and scratched his head. He looked at Will and Belle and said, "You should be in bed." "They've saved the town with string and glue," said kind old Mr. Beer. Policeman Brown said to the pirates, "You lot disappear. Take your shoes and socks off. Second thoughts, all of you strip. Get back in your boat right now and row back to your ship." He then untied the pirates, squirming like a nest of ants. They got undressed and rowed back in their dirty pirate pants. As Belle and Will walked up the hill, they looked across the bay, and in the moonlight saw the pirate ship sailing away. With aching feet and aching paws, they fell into their beds, with thoughts of pirates stuck in glue still running round their heads. Next morning in the kitchen, Will's dad stood with Will's mother. Will and Belle froze to the spot and looked at one another. "What have you two been up to?" Will's mum said, with a frown. Will answered very slowly, "Mum, we saved our little town." Just then, outside the kitchen door, there came a mighty cheer. Everyone had heard the story told by Mr. Beer, how Will and Belle had bravely fought the pirates off so well. They shouted, "Give 3 cheers for Will, and give 3 whoofs for Belle." They came inside, raised them high, and cheered them through the streets. Will had free ice cream for life, and Belle had endless treats. They carried them to the quay. The cheering reached its peak. Policeman Brown stood on the steps. He was stuck there for a week. So if you ever go there, if you have an hour or 3, take a stroll right down the hill and find that little quay. On the spot where our 2 heroes, the attack they did repel, there stands a splendid statue to the mighty Will and Belle.
Will and Belle investigate things that go bump in the night. Right! Will and Belle investigate things that give you a fright. Right! When we find a new situation, time to launch a new investigation. Just a boy named